Hey y'all. Okay. It's been a trying week. Okay. Woo! These eyelashes should tell the story about how trying of a week it has been. So we're gonna go ahead and get some questions answered. I know you guys have lots of questions that you always email me, and we're gonna run through these questions. Okay. And you will be able to find out how I would rule. Okay. It's your favorite attorney, Attorney Allie Booker. Welcome to the courts. Order. We have a new legal question. I've explained this in the situation section, but I'll email it to you here. Okay, well, thank you, honey. I was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon in 2002. My only adult felony. I was given deferred adjudication probation for 3 years, did 2 months in county jail, and was sent to Safe P. That is a substance abuse punishment program, guys. It's not really a punishment. It is an rehab, but you're in jail. Okay. The person says that they were later released to a halfway house where they were to reside for about 60 to 90 days, and then they were able to return home. They obtained a job and had not received any new charges, but the probation issued a blue warrant for their arrest because they said that this person was a no-show for a scheduled visit. They ended up showing up to that visit late, but the warrant was already issued. I would just like the case overturned by a judge in a criminal court of appeals using the habeas corpus under Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, Article 1107. I want to renew my life, move forward, and get this done. Court is in session, baby. Once you plead guilty, and that's what happens, or you're found guilty, you can't go redo that unless there was something wrong that was done. You have to raise that issue when it happens. What it seems that happens, guys, is that this person was given deferred adjudication, okay, and they violated multiple times. One of the times they violated, they were sent to Safe P, and the court ended up adjudicating them guilty for whatever offense it was, which was the aggravated assault deadly weapon. And instead of sending them to jail, just said, you're going to go to Safe P. But you were adjudicated guilty. So at this point, there is nothing that you can do unless you can prove that there was error. And it really hurts me, guys, because there was a case that came in my office on yesterday, and I told them that once you sign the dotted line and you sign away your right to appeal, which is done in plea bargain cases, there is no right to appeal unless the court has given you a right to appeal. And if you are going to appeal that case, guys, there has to be some it's very little, few and far in between when you can appeal a guilty plea. The law has to change. A lot of the times, now a lot of the times people are appealing juvenile convictions where they were sentenced to life in prison with no parole or sentenced to death because the Supreme Court found that, sentencing a juvenile to terms like that is unconstitutional. So people who were adjudicated guilty or who pled guilty and got life, with no parole or death, were then able to try to run for a resentencing. That was a very small window of an appeal that could be had for them. Then the court of Texas came back and said, you had to do it within 1 year. And so then everybody was out again. So whenever you plead guilty or you're found guilty in certain circumstances, whenever you plead, and this person, they pled guilty in order to get deferred adjudication, okay? And so when they violated, the court never had to they didn't have to revisit whether or not this person was guilty of the crime. The court only had to say whether or not this person violated. And so they adjudicated them guilty for the crime and sentenced them to jail. That's like whenever a guilty plea, guys, is done, very limited right to appeal, okay? It's got to be some new evidence that you didn't know about, that had you known that, you wouldn't have pled guilty. Or there has to be some, foul play that is very hard to prove, or a change in circumstance in the law. And that just doesn't happen. I don't see that here with the aggravated assault. Sir, it just seems like you violated your deferred adjudication, and they told you that when you violated deferred adjudication, that there was a chance that you could be sentenced to jail. You knew at that point you could not withdraw your plea of guilty. That plea of guilty would stand, and you would have to, go and fight for whatever light sentence you could get. Looks like you got off with a very light sentence because you only had Safe P. So we're going to move on in life. Okay, this is your fault. You got not one but two bites at the apple. You messed up, baby. Move on. Next case. Okay, next case. This is a family case, and we need to talk about this. Father on paper now wants DNA tests and refusing to pay anything until the results. I'm in Texas and I have an 18-month-old son. Me and the father are not married and not together. I've not filed for child support. We're handling everything on our own. That is your first mistake. Order in the court. Let me tell you something, guys. You need orders. And let me tell you why you need an order. You need an order because if both parents are on the birth certificate, one parent can take the child, run off, and they're not kidnapping the child, and they're not doing anything wrong, and you are going to have to fight in court to get that child back after you find the parent to serve them and the child, which they could have jumped states by then. Okay? Get an order. Even if you don't want to say that any person has to pay child support, get an order that controls and governs who's going to have the child and when, so that if a parent keeps that child over the time they're supposed to have that child, you have some recourse. Okay, ma'am, I understand a lot of the times that there are, men will tell you if you take them to court, they're not giving you anything. Girl, go without it and go to court. Okay, and that's just it. I'm going to keep going. His father signed the birth certificate and now wants a DNA test. See what I'm saying? He could have took that baby from her and took off. It just so happens he don't want to take the baby. But if he wanted to, he could have took off and this woman would have absolutely no protection. You don't let a man tell you that you don't need a court order. Yes, you do. And in the state of Texas and many other states, you can go and get free court orders in and through the Attorney General's office. They will do it for you, especially after somebody has signed the birth certificate, because it makes it easy. If you don't want child support, you can tell them that you don't want child support and not to set child support. You can do that. That's fine. But get your order, people. Now that we've taken the DNA test that I agreed to take, we're waiting on the results. He now doesn't want to pay me monthly for his son, or he doesn't want to help child care costs until he gets the results. Can I take him to court due to the fact that he's the father on paper, even though we're waiting on DNA results? Girl, yes you can. And you should have took him to begin with. When you was pregnant, let me tell you something. When you're pregnant, go to the Attorney General's office and file the paperwork. And I am ordering you to get your behind up now and go to the nearest Attorney General's office, wherever. Okay? Matter of fact, I'm going to order you to find the nearest computer. Go online to the Attorney General's website and fill out the form and get it done. Put his information in so they can get started on getting your money for you. He wants a DNA test, you want to order. Okay? And let me tell y'all something. This happens all the time. And half the time, it's not because one parent isn't taking care of the child. It's because one parent ain't doing what the other parent wants them to do. And so they dangling a carrot and sticking and playing with you. You don't take that. And women, who cares if they're not paying? If they sorry asses, they're going to do it at one point anyways. Either they left you while you was pregnant and didn't help you prepare for the child and didn't give you nothing. Or after you had the baby, you moved on or they moved on and something happened and they stopped paying you. This man paid up until 18 months and then stopped paying, asking for a DNA test. It's going to happen anyways. Just stop trying to do things on your own and get an order. Get an order. Unless you know that the man never wants to see his child and he's paying child support, you need an order, honey. It doesn't make sense not to have an order. It doesn't make sense not to have an order. That man could come up like a thief in the night when that child is 3 years old and never return that child. You need an order. And babies can't talk. They can't tell you where they are. They can't answer the phone. They can't do none of that. You definitely need an order for babies. You don't transfer babies without orders. One parent gets mad at you, they can keep their child. And guys, you all need to do it too. You know somebody's pregnant? I have had 2 or 3 clients within the past year. They come to me. She says she's pregnant by me. Let's go ahead and follow the case now. Because you know what you're not going to do? Play with their ass. You're not going to play with them. And they're going to get their baby when they want their baby. They file on themselves. So that goes both ways. Get an order, people. That's what the court is for. And in all states, those family courts are trained. Them family judges, they know a lot. They're trained well. They know what they're doing. They will help you out. They will help out both sides. I don't want to hear that men don't get any rights. That's a lie. Especially down here in Harris County, it's a lie. Because I represent more men than women, and trust me, men are walking out with custody nowadays. So do what you have to do, guys, and always get an order. It does not help you not to have an order. Next case. Criminal defense. How do I find out if a warrant has been recalled once I paid fines and fees assessed? And what do I do next? I currently live in Texas, and I've been unable to get a driver's license due to an old charge in Massachusetts. This morning, I had a virtual hearing with Orleans District Court regarding a credit card fraud charge and a corresponding warrant from 2001. The judge ordered that I pay $320 in restitution originally assessed to the charge by 8/18/2021, and he will remove the warrant. I've paid the restitution via ma.gov online. How do I find out if the warrant has been recalled so that I can get a Texas driver's license? You go through the state of, I guess this is Massachusetts, okay? You go through the state of Massachusetts, okay? That's what you do. What you're going to do is you're going to contact the Massachusetts Licensing Bureau. They are the ones who have sent off for Texas to hold your license. If you can get a license in Massachusetts, you can get one in Texas. You're going to have to go to the Driver's License Bureau in Massachusetts, make sure you're clear, and then you'll be clear in Texas. And a lot of the times, it takes a while, a couple months for the system to update in the next state. So go ahead and get your proof from the Driver's License Bureau in the state where you have the charge. That way you can forward it to Texas, and Texas can simply check it out and release that hold a little bit sooner. But that's what you need to do. You will find out that the warrant has been recalled by going to the Massachusetts Driver's License Bureau, okay? Making sure you're clear there. If you're clear in your home state, you're clear in the other state. Guys, a lot of the times these states work together. There are laws that the government has federally, and it tells the states that dealing with driver's licenses, child support, health insurance, things of that nature, each state will help each state collect. Okay, and that's what has happened here. This gentleman owed some fines in Massachusetts, never paid them, and eventually Massachusetts took his license in Massachusetts. Well, he said, I don't give a damn because I ain't in Massachusetts no more. I'm in Texas. They figured out he was in Texas because he ended up getting a license in Texas. So they said, hey, Texas, revoke his license because he ain't supposed to have one because he's sitting up here paying owing us money. And Texas said, no problem. Hit a couple buttons, click, click, and revoke that license. And that license, he did not have a license. Here's another thing that happens, guys. Don't nobody tell you nothing with an F. Nobody tells you nothing, okay? Massachusetts is sending stuff to an old Massachusetts address. Texas Driver's License Bureau will send you documentation or whatever the last address is that you were at and that you very well may not be at anymore to let you know they're getting ready to restrict your driver's license. You can very well be riding dirty and not even know that you don't have a license because all it takes is a bloop, bloop, bloop in the computer and then you are done, okay? So guys, make sure that you keep up with your licenses. Make sure that you pay your fines. Ain't nobody telling you nothing. They just restricting your license. And they ain't got to come find your pocket and take your license out of your pocket and cut it up. Okay? And that's what people think. Well, I got it right here. It still ain't no good. And what happens is when they run you, okay, in Texas, when these officers are driving by you, if that car is registered to you, they know that you don't have a license by the series of beeps and what comes up on their screen, and they're going to pull you over and possibly take you to jail. Get your fines and fees paid and taken care of. And matter of fact, it's so many programs out here right now because of COVID. I don't think anybody should have any fines or no fees. Thank you. That is going to be everything for today, guys. Glad that you guys emailed me, seeing how I'm ruling in your case and letting you know what I think you should probably possibly need to do in your case or with your issue. Thank you guys for showing love. Continue to subscribe and like my videos or not like them. As long as I can get that algorithm going, I don't care, honey. Make sure you add me on Facebook, Allie Booker. Add me on Instagram, she_ya_lawyer. And make sure you, again, subscribe to my channel. Always click the notification tab so that you're able to know when I upload new videos and you can partake in the festivities. Thank you guys. Have a fantastic day. Until next time, court is in recess.